In recent life and work, you may be facing many difficulties and troubles that make you feel tired and confused. The hand is the clearest map reflecting the ups and downs in your finances, destiny, and health. Today's video will help you better understand the important signs on the hand, thereby knowing how to overcome challenges and welcome good fortune in the future. If you find this video useful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the next deep palm reading analyses, and please share this video with friends and family to explore and improve life together. Let's get started. This is the hand of a girl born in 1987. First of all, when observing your hand as a whole, especially from the perspective of physiognomy for women, this is a pretty beautiful hand. The skin is relatively soft, the skin tone bright, showing good temperament and physical condition. Both hands show many positive features, indicating that you have potential to develop both materially and spiritually. According to the palm reading method we apply, the left hand is considered a representation of predetermined destiny, that is, elements related to fate, predestination, which are not easy to change. This part represents what you've been programmed with beforehand, including natural luck, blessings, and factors of fate. Meanwhile, the right hand represents what you have, are, and will be able to create in life, reflecting actions, personal will, adaptability, and inner self at the present time. Therefore, when interpreting, both hands need to be considered to give a comprehensive view. When examining your right hand, it can be seen that the fingers are even and quite straight. This is a sign of a person with a balanced, stable personality, not too impulsive. Especially, your thumb is also very straight, showing strong willpower, good self-control, and leadership qualities. People with such hands often easily make a good impression on those around them, loved for their sincerity and approachability. At the same time, they are also people with a spirit of mastery, not liking to depend on others and always wanting to build their own path. With such a hand, if you work in fields related to business, investment, finance, or any job requiring initiative and management, it will be very suitable. Not only do you have leadership ability, but you also have competence in decision-making and especially the ability to accumulate wealth well. On your hand, there are many lines of financial luck. This shows that you are a person who is fortunate with money, knows how to seize opportunities, and often experiences luck in financial matters. The most notable feature is the area of career on your palm, where two parallel career lines appear. This is a very rare characteristic and carries an extremely positive meaning. These two lines do not deviate or spread out between the fingers, but run clearly parallel, indicating that you are a practical person with clear goals and a very focused work ability. At the same time, this also shows that you can develop two different career directions simultaneously or have two stable sources of income. You are someone who values material wealth highly and always aims for stability and accumulation. The headline on your hand is quite straight, without many branches or deviations. This reflects that you are a practical thinker, logical, with firm opinions and clear, straightforward behavior. However, in the middle section of the headline, corresponding to middle age, around 38 to 40 years old, there appears a slight bend, like a sign of interruption or change. This is a sign you need to pay special attention to, as it shows that during this period, work or life direction may experience unexpected changes or challenges that cause you to reconsider your current path. Fortunately, your headline is not broken or heavily interrupted, indicating that despite ups and downs, you still maintain stability in your work and have the ability to advance if you adjust and seize opportunities in time. In addition, there is another very notable feature. The lifeline on your hand has a section that is separated, not continuous as usual. However, this separation combines with a few small lines around it to form a shape resembling the prajna boat. In palmistry, the image of the prajna boat is a rare symbol, carrying spiritual and high intellectual meaning. It represents the ability to overcome life's storms through understanding, faith, and strong willpower. This implies that although your life may sometimes face difficulties and hardships, you will still have opportunities to overcome and achieve success thanks to your perseverance and deep awareness. However, The shape of the prajna boat on your hand is not very clear. This partly reflects an aspect of your inner self, excessive worry, sometimes easily losing emotional balance. You tend to find it difficult to maintain long-term focus on a single job or career path during your youth. Therefore, your younger years are somewhat harder than others, having to wander many places and experience various jobs to find a suitable direction. During this period, you need to actively socialize, seek opportunities, and gain many experiences to build a solid foundation for the future. Although the image of the prajna boat is not very clear, beneath that area, there appears a quite beautiful and distinct triangle. This is the sign of the blessing triangle. This is one of the very auspicious signs in palmistry, symbolizing peace and stability in later life. People with this triangle usually achieve prosperity and abundance in their later years. Even if not extremely wealthy, they will at least have a full, stable life and enjoy blessings from their descendants. In the Mercury Mount area, located under the pinky finger, your hand also shows many signs indicating a good later life, where children are dutiful and caring. The number of your children tends to be sufficient and harmonious, both sons and daughters. This is a good omen related to family and offspring lines. Moreover, the moon mount on your hand, the lower edge of the palm, is also quite prominent, without any cuts or breaks. This is a very positive feature, showing that you have innate blessings and a kind-hearted nature, with a concern for spirituality and the law of cause and effect. This is especially clear when observing the lifeline where it meets the Jupiter mount, where small upward lines appear. These lines represent a person with strong intuition, a natural affinity for spiritual fields, or the ability to sense and heal. Notably, on your thumb, there is a fingerprint called the Phoenix Eye Print, a sign of intelligence, depth, and the ability to perceive issues comprehensively and delicately. When facing difficulties or complex situations, you tend not to act hastily, but carefully consider and thoroughly weigh options before making decisions. With these traits, you are very well suited for work related to healing, mental support, or spiritual counseling. Additionally, you enjoy sharing and inspiring others, so if circumstances allow, you could definitely pursue careers that use language skills, such as teaching, public speaking, preaching, or guiding others spiritually. This path will bring you meaningful and lasting value. On your hand, your thumb has a fairly straight shape and notably has a clear transverse line. This is one of the good signs, showing that you know how to preserve money and assets. When starting a family or in married life, you place great importance on financial matters, managing money skillfully, which helps stabilize the family and build solid financial savings over time. Furthermore, on your wrist there appears a distinct triangle, considered one of the very good foundational lines, symbolizing the ability to inherit family wealth, possibly in the form of property or money. This sign indicates you have a fairly strong economic foundation from your family. However, it is important to note that your lifeline at this position is broken, occurring roughly between the ages of 49 and 55. This warns of possible upheavals during that period, especially related to health or work. You should pay attention to regular health checkups and be cautious when traveling or doing business at this age. Additionally, the mount of Venus on your hand is quite flat and lacks many supportive lines parallel to the lifeline. Normally, the presence of parallel auxiliary lifelines helps block negative external influences, providing protection and support. The absence of these supporting lines indicates that you are the type who relies mostly on yourself and do not receive much external backing. However, your inner mindset is very positive. You are always open-minded, ambitious, and constantly striving. This attitude will help you overcome difficulties if you encounter obstacles in life. On your left hand, there are several notable differences. Specifically, you have two lifelines. This suggests you have, in a way, two lives or two clear paths of development in your lifetime. People with two lifelines often have a strong desire to find direction for themselves and tend to change jobs frequently or handle multiple jobs simultaneously. Moreover, you show signs of the M hand shape, a rare feature that indicates a strong-willed, perfectionist person who does not like to depend on others. However, currently, your palm shows many upward lines, causing the skin in that area to appear wrinkled. This is a sign related to health, indicating you might be facing some physical issues, especially with the respiratory system or stomach. Your heart line, although quite long, is tangled and smudged around the edges. This warns of a higher risk of cardiovascular problems, especially as you enter middle age, particularly after the age of 40. Overall, this hand shows you tend to worry a lot and experience considerable pressure and stress in life. There are also many lines running into the spaces between your fingers, which indicate fatigue, energy depletion, and a higher chance of health and mental problems if you cannot balance your life well. It seems that both your business and personal life have recently encountered quite a few difficulties. It is possible you are experiencing financial losses, and your current work seems to be consuming more than it benefits. Therefore, perseverance and a positive mindset are essential factors to help you get through this difficult phase and move toward future success. On your hand, the lines related to career are still very clear. Especially, the Mount of Mercury area shows many lines connected to financial luck, indicating that you have the ability to generate multiple sources of income. Additionally, there is a very special sign, a star shape appearing right in the center of your palm. This is a sign of good fortune. However, this sign will become more prominent after you pass the age of 40. Your hand also shows the potential for possessing assets. Specifically, on the heart line, there are triangle shapes, an indication of a tendency to accumulate and inherit property. Furthermore, the career-related lines reinforce this. However, your assets tend to be prone to disputes, jealousy, or conflicts from people around you. This requires you to always have a clear plan and strict management methods from the start to minimize risks. In particular, legal and procedural matters need to be handled carefully and thoroughly by you, because otherwise, unnecessary troubles are likely to arise. Another point on your hand is a black mole appearing on the Mount of Venus. This mole symbolizes a phase in your later years where you might face serious health problems that could cause financial strain. However, this sign usually becomes clear only after you pass age 70, so there is no need to worry too much at present. Fortunately, you are blessed with support from your children, so whatever difficulties arise, you will always have help and companionship. However, it is worth noting that your fate lines are quite faint, and your palm has many wrinkles. This indicates that your current work is facing many challenges, which may cause you to feel tired, discouraged, or even want to give up. But you should maintain a positive spirit because your later years are very promising, with protection and support from family and loved ones. Be persistent through this phase, as things will gradually improve in the future. On this hand, it is noticeable that your fingers have very clear vertical lines, especially on the pinky finger. This is a sign that you will have a good later life thanks to assistance and support from your children. Regarding your love life, this hand shows that you are likely to encounter difficulties in relationships. Although you are practical and capable of seizing money-making opportunities, your timing hasn't come yet, so your income has not really improved recently. Your heart line is currently smudged and spreading outward, indicating that you are facing a lot of pressure in your romantic life, possibly conflicts, arguments, or disagreements within the family. This causes your mind to be unsettled, often worried, sleepless, and having difficulty concentrating on work. With this hand pattern, you need to pay more attention to your mental well-being and health. Although there are still many concerns at present, your career tends to develop positively after the age of 40. When you reach this stage, you have the potential to build a reputation and be widely recognized, especially if you work in fields related to investment or management. Your thumb is quite straight, a trait of someone with leadership ability, influence, and who is easily trusted by others. Notably, at the end of your career line appears a triangle, a sign that as you age, you will become more effective at work, accumulate well, and achieve financial stability. Overall, this hand belongs to someone with the potential to build a comfortable life. However, currently, you are facing considerable mental pressure, both from work and family. This year, you need to pay special attention to your health. This is a time when your physical condition may decline somewhat, leading to financial loss or expenses. At the same time, your romantic relationships this year may face upheavals. You might encounter cracks in your marriage or close relationships, affecting your psychology and leading to less wise decisions. Therefore, this year you should keep a steady mind, avoid impatience, and focus on caring for both your physical and mental health. Despite current challenges, with the positive signs for your later years, you can confidently look forward to a bright future ahead. Wishing you strength, success, and fulfillment in life. Thank you very much for watching.